So Jason has a situation where he needs to add custom IDs into his project. So I'm just using them again, as I do every time I'm demonstrating. Can you all see my screen? I don't see my little, okay, thanks. I don't see my little green border around it. Okay, thanks. Okay, so he wants to import custom instruments or custom IDs into his project. So the first thing that needs to be done is you need to disable the auto numbering. And why am I can't do that for a reason. Let me just turn this off a minute. There we go. You need to not be using surveys if you want to import or you're using custom numbers, because surveys auto increment as you add them. You can't have a custom number if you have surveys. So I turned that off. And now I'm going to disable auto numbering for records, so that now when I add a new record, go here. See, now it wants me to put in this subject number. Okay, so we've sort of lined that out. We are going to add a, we're going to import a CSV file that has our numbers in it. So our custom records. So let me just find, let's see, where did I put that? Well, what I think I want to do here is I want to step back a little bit so we walk through this a little bit more thoroughly, since I don't want to just show you something. So first thing I do is download the data import template so that I see, what fields need to be filled in. So that's opening up now. And okay, here we are. So this is his study, because this way I want, oh, now it's, oh, this is because this is mine. It's all right. I don't need repeat instruments for this particular project. And I'm only going to import like first name, last name, just as a quick example. Okay, so I need a subject number, a first name, and a last name. So quickly, okay, now I want to get my subject numbers and put them in there. So the problem is he wants to put in his custom IDs, which are, oh, let me blow this up a little bit. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you see what happens as soon as you enter something like 5-1, Excel wants to change it to a date. Okay, so you can come in here format your cells. You can change it all you want. You can say that it has to be some kind of custom or text. Let's say you say it's text, and it creates some kind of text reference. None of that actually is going to work. But what you can do is put an apostrophe first, and then your number, and then it will hold the formatting. So I'll put in 5-2 and apostrophe 5-3. Okay, so one of the things that you should be looking for in your spreadsheet, Jason, should be those apostrophes disappearing. Okay, I see in your spreadsheet that they're showing up. I'm not quite sure what the format is that's showing it, but this is how it should look before you try the import. They still appear even though you're entering your data into, shouldn't really matter what format you have, but if you had general, still looks the same, text should look like this. So now I am confused. This is what should happen, and that's I'm sure why you're having problems, but it doesn't appear that you're anywhere you can share your screen. Am I correct? Okay, so while I'm waiting to hear back from him, in any Excel or CSV situation, this would be what you would want to do. I'll save it and then find my file. And then when I go to upload it, it should be clear that it's uploading just the 5-1 and 2 and 3 with this. And it's showing me that this is an already existing record because I already tested it in here to make sure it worked. So the cause of your dilemma is this, whatever's going on with Excel, on the assumption you're using Excel. Well, it says save it. Okay, it says you're saving this as an Excel format or CSV. So you have your CSV, you're putting this in. Okay, so Manny, any ideas why Excel, or anybody out there, why Excel may not be accepting the initial apostrophe as something that delineates that text is following it? Different version of Excel. Good question. This version has been around a while. Are you, Jason, are you using the most recent version of Excel? Not, I think I have here 16 or something, whatever is on the website, the UA website for Office 365. That's the version I'm using. I can do a quick check on the internet. not quite sure how to phrase this. So this is how to remove the apostrophe.
Terry, if you wrap it in apostrophes, does it recognize it as like the text delimiter? So if you do like apostrophe 5-1 apostrophe, you know, for like CSVs.
Well, I think he tried that. Let me open that back up again and see what happens. Okay, so there's
because I'm also wondering if you can change the formatting from general to text as well. Because number dash number, Excel likes to treat it as a date, but I'm wondering if you just change it to like text down at the bottom.
Yeah, I had it as text originally, but see, this is what happens when you convert it to text.
Right, but I mean, then if you type the 5-1 back in just by itself.
Right, because it translated the date into a number.
Yeah.
That it assumed it was a date. That's why.
But I'm thinking if you
numbers.
I'm thinking if you change the column to text first and then put your numbers in, you wouldn't have to delimit it with the apostrophe.
Okay, Jason says he used text, but let me try that and see what happens. So when I did that, I didn't use the apostrophe. I set this as text. And I'm pretty sure Jason said he did that, but let me save this. And then come back here and try this again. Make sure that it works this time. Okay, that did work. I've tried that before with varying results, but
and
if it was set up as text first, you're right. Maybe it's the changing it to text after it's entered that's
Can you open it in Notepad to see how it is formatted now?
Yeah.
Because what I'll usually do is if I do something in Excel and it's weird, I'll open it in Notepad because then you see it without the formatting that Excel puts on it. And then another option would be to do Open Office, because remember we were having problems with special characters in Excel.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that too. Are you familiar with Open Office, Jason? Okay, so Open Office is Google based, I think, if I remember correctly. But it frequently will handle things that Excel doesn't handle correctly. So when I put it into Notepad, this is what I'm seeing. So it's properly delimited with the commas. So that would be another thing to look at. I guess, Jason, is to, first of all right, forget that you say you've tried setting the spreadsheet as text for that field. Let me open that back up again, because I know you've been struggling with this for a little while, and I just thought this would be an easier fix. So I'm sorry I didn't get more involved earlier. But it's funny now. Look, you see when I open this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because I did a little spreadsheet over here on my own, and when I opened it back up, I opened it in Notepad and it said 5-2, and then when I opened it back up in Excel, it reformatted as a date.
Right.
So I'm wondering if you put the like double quotes around it, like the text delimiter.
Yeah.
And then save it.
So before so yeah, let's just see what happens if I enter it. Yeah, see, it leaves the trailing apostrophe.
Yeah, with the single quote, with the double quotes, it leaves them both there, but the single quote, it gets rid of the first one.
Right. So again, 5-2. Yeah. And that shouldn't import correctly, would you think? Did you try by any chance?
The weird thing, Terry, so with the double quotes, when I saved it and opened it in Notepad, it adds 2 more pairs of double quotes. So it's like 3 double quotes on either side.
Yeah, it's trying to escape that, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, the double quotes appear in the, so Jason is with us here. So he's tried all that. See that, I mean, the simple answer should just be, so if I put in the single quote.
Oh, try a backslash, Terry.
In front of the 5-1?
Yeah.
That,
the backslash, not the forward slash.
Oh, sorry. So we're talking like this.
Yeah.
Thing is, I can't figure out why something that is common in Excel would not be working. You just close this and reopen it and just see what it looks like this time. See if it, I mean, it should look the same. Yeah, it opened up the same way. And then I can't imagine this is going to import, but let's see. Yeah, see, that's going to bring in that. But it should be such a simple thing to put the apostrophe in front, whether it's general or, I mean, that's what works, but it's not working for some reason from Jason. I hate when this happens, you know, and we have this happen all the time. Those of you on the call have no idea how many times we get something that doesn't work for one person or one project. And it's like, how do you troubleshoot something that you can't reproduce? So, Jason, my suggestion, since that doesn't work, the next thing I would try is look for, this is what it, what is it again?
Open Office.
It's Open Office.
Yeah, it's the Open Office Calc.
Yeah.
And it allows you to save, like, you save it with like Unicode and all that stuff, so you have a little more options.
So if anybody's not familiar with, it's a, Apache product. So if anybody's not familiar with this, then let me just open the original back up again. See what happens if I just copy and paste it in there. So it does the same thing. So again, if I put the apostrophe 5-1, then it escapes that date again. So in custom format, try month, day, year, month, day, it saves as 0501 instead of May 1st. Yeah, but it needs to be formatted this particular way so that it will take as a custom format for his subject number. So it can't alter that. So again, see what happens. Oops.
Mr. Terry Smith.
Mr. Michael Hernandez.
Yes, try selecting the column as you did before within Excel. Right click for your format, and then choose or select custom. And then pick one that looks similar from the list, existing list, and then you can alter it. So you would type in 5-1, I think that should do it.
But what is the custom format for 5-1?
So just select on maybe a number or one of the formats that are already existing in the list, in the drop-down list. So maybe look at number or £, and then from there you can alter it. It'll open up an additional field where it says type in the dialog box or the window.
That's funny. Yeah, Jason, open office calc, and JJ already tried all those different combinations and they don't. Oh, that's, yeah, all those different combinations. Did none of them work? It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't matter. See, this is just it. We're moving into like all these esoteric ways when this should just be just slam dunk. There is no reason that this shouldn't work, except something would possibly with Excel on this particular computer. This is where I say I'm at a point where I can't help because it's trying to figure out why your Excel works different than everyone else's. And I know that that's not helpful. And I want to be helpful. The only last option I can offer is, well, I can offer two things. One is try OpenOffice Calc. If that doesn't work, then send me the stupid data that you want to import and let me try and do it. And if I get it in, then you're just ahead of the game. And if I have to import it for you periodically, then that's what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have a lot of data to import, then it's important to get in. Otherwise, you are just going to each record
Well, and even on the Microsoft support page, I put a link in the chat. It says to do exactly that. Do the apostrophe before, or select column and change it to text. And
so if you get it in here, I mean, this is a very laborious thing, but this is where you can rename a record and like call it 4-1. If none of you have ever renamed a record, you can change the record ID using this feature. But that's where I don't want him to have to get into that, because if you were trying to import 50 of them, that's very laborious. But I would just, at this point, Jason, I'd be looking at other instances, other computers that have Excel, and see if you have the problem. You can send me your data and let me, work with it to massage it to get it in there. But in the end, there's something that is not right with either, and this has happened to me before, where somehow you reconfigure an application accidentally. I really don't know what to say, except that the solution is the apostrophe first. And then you try some other, try the OpenOffice and see what happens. And then if it doesn't work and you want me to do the import, then send it to me.
I have a quick question, and it may be way, way off base.
That's all right.
Why is the subject ID designed like this? That looks like looks sort of like a mathematical equation. I mean, is it going to be 5.5-99 when you get to 99 patients, or is there some other?
That's a very good question, actually. That's really, that's a very, very, very good question, because it gets at the heart of, do you need to make it is reporting for the state? However, okay, thanks. Thanks for responding. But so is there any reason that you can't make a field? I mean, you're still getting at the import, but if that 5-1 is something that is being, you could calculate like it was the month dash record ID, something like that, then you can create a field in your project and run that. And even though the record ID may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, I understand. You're reporting back to the state, but when you send your export, which I assume you're sending as a CSV or Excel file, you simply remove the record ID from the spreadsheet and use the first field as your identifier, which is the 5-1, 5-2, or whatever. And if that's auto-calculated, then, I mean, that may be helpful to you, but I don't know. Like
the other idea I have, sorry, Terry.
No, that's okay. But like Carol's saying, is there a reason that it's showing up like, I mean, that you're picking that? Go ahead.
You could add a letter at the beginning. Just add the letter A 5-1, A 5-2, A 5-3. It won't try and convert it to anything.
Right.
And then you could strip that out when you're doing the CSV. The A.
There's another good observation. Or you strip it out into a field.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a field right below the record ID that is a calculated field, or it's not a calculated field, but you're using your custom whatever you call those things.
Right. But I mean, that it just removes the possibility of it trying to manipulate the field in Excel.
You're using the special function for the field by taking that and saying, like, write X, find the length, and then you take it from the right -1, something. We can help you with that kind of thing with a formula if that's something you want to do. But anyway, that's a good question and a good option as a workaround. But in the end, it still is aggravating.
Yeah.
The thing that should be the easiest isn't working for you, and I have no idea why. I think that you may have pissed somebody off and you just don't even realize it, and now they're trying to get back at you. They messed with your computer or your version of Excel. I just can't say. I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. But it was fun to try and figure out a lot of different options, a lot of different things that we threw out there. Thanks for everybody's help and ideas.